People are leaving America's biggest cities in numbers that are surprising even to experts, and if you walk through the streets of New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, or San Francisco, you might not notice it immediately. The coffee shops are busy, traffic is still heavy, and skyscrapers are still standing tall. Yet behind the scenes, data and real-life stories show a growing trend. More and more people are choosing to relocate away from the largest urban centers. So what is really going on? Why are millions making this move, and what does it mean for the future of these cities? One of the main reasons people are leaving is cost. Living in America's largest cities has become increasingly expensive over the past decade. Housing prices have soared, rents have skyrocketed, and everyday expenses like groceries, utilities, and transportation have steadily risen. Even for those with decent incomes, the financial pressure can feel constant. A single adult or a young family can spend more than half of their income just to maintain a modest apartment in a central neighborhood. For many, this cost imbalance is no longer sustainable, and they start looking for alternatives that offer more financial breathing room. Another significant factor is the shift in work culture, especially after the pandemic. Remote work has become a permanent option for many companies, meaning employees no longer have to live close to downtown offices. People realize they could maintain their careers while living in smaller cities, suburbs, or even rural areas where the cost of living is dramatically lower. This newfound flexibility has opened opportunities for families to prioritize space, schools, and quality of life over proximity to work. As a result, cities that once attracted talent primarily because of job concentration are now losing residents who can work from anywhere. Safety concerns also play a role. Crime rates in some major cities have been rising, or at least perceived as rising, which contributes to a sense of unease among residents. People want to feel safe walking their neighborhoods, sending their children to school, and enjoying public spaces. Even if statistics show mixed trends, the perception of safety heavily influences decisions about where to live. Families, in particular, are often willing to move hundreds of miles to ensure a better sense of security. Another subtle but powerful factor is the quality of urban services. Public transportation, sanitation, education, and city infrastructure all directly affect daily life. In some cities, public services are under pressure due to population density, budget constraints, or mismanagement. Residents notice longer commutes, crowded schools, inconsistent public services, and deteriorating infrastructure. These small but constant frustrations add up, creating a feeling that life in the city is becoming less convenient and less reliable. Interestingly, the trend of leaving major cities is not uniform. Wealthier residents often stay in central neighborhoods because they can afford the high costs and enjoy luxury amenities. It is primarily middle-class families, young professionals, and retirees who are making the move. Some are relocating to secondary cities like Austin, Nashville, Raleigh, or Denver where costs are lower but job opportunities still exist. Others are moving to suburbs or smaller towns where housing is affordable, crime is lower, and life is slower and more predictable. The impact of this migration is already visible. Real estate markets in secondary cities and suburbs are booming, while some urban neighborhoods experience slower growth, rising vacancies, or stagnating property values. Local businesses in big cities may face challenges because they lose middle-income customers who previously supported shops, restaurants, and services. Meanwhile, smaller towns and cities that attract these newcomers see economic growth, new businesses, and cultural diversification. Some economists argue that this movement reflects a broader societal shift. The balance between work, lifestyle, and money is changing. People are increasingly valuing personal freedom, space, and community over traditional urban advantages like proximity to offices or nightlife. This does not mean cities will become empty, but it does suggest a redistribution of population density with implications for urban planning, infrastructure, and local economies for years to come. It is also important to understand that this is not a temporary trend. While some moves may be experimental, many are permanent. The combination of remote work, rising costs, safety concerns, and lifestyle preferences represents a structural change. Cities that fail to address safety, and quality of life issues risk losing a steady flow of residents, while cities that adapt could attract talent looking for a modern urban experience that balances opportunity with livability. So what does this mean for people considering moving or staying? For those in big cities, it is worth assessing personal priorities. Are you paying a premium for location, convenience, or amenities that you truly value? Could you achieve the same career opportunities, lifestyle quality, and community sense elsewhere for less money and stress? For policymakers and city planners, this trend signals that maintaining a thriving urban population requires addressing affordability, safety, services, and infrastructure. Ignoring these factors could accelerate the exodus and weaken city economies. In conclusion, millions of people are leaving America's biggest cities, and it is a complex mix of financial, cultural, and lifestyle reasons. It is a quiet crisis that isn't always reported in headlines but has real consequences for families, local economies, and urban planning. Understanding this shift helps explain why some neighborhoods are thriving while others struggle, and why the American dream is taking on new forms in 2026. People are not just moving for jobs, they are moving for life, for freedom, and for a chance to regain control over their finances, space, and well-being. Cities that recognize these changing priorities and adapt will thrive, while those that resist may see their population slowly shrink in the years ahead.